Welcome back, everybody, to the Luck We Had a Shameless Recap podcast. Let's talk about our nonsense up at the top. There's a writer's strike.
Hey there.
Hey.
All your favorite shows are delayed.
Or just gonna get canned.
It's if Grey's Anatomy survives a second writer's strike, like they survived the 2007 writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, is it crazy to say that was like the height of their like popularity?
It was season 3.
I mean, they're still popular, but like, I mean, like live viewers, you know?
But like, again, it was season 3. It was early days.
True.
And they survived
Damn.
it. Same with
True.
Supernatural. They started airing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
What do we think is gonna get canned by the writer's strike?
I think we're going to lose a lot of good shows.
I know Stranger Things is delayed filming right now because of such.
Which was such a baller boss-ass move.
Yeah.
They are clearly Netflix's biggest profit margin right now.
Yeah.
And them going like, well, there's no show without the writers. Guess we're waiting.
I feel like I've seen the majority of the strikes are outside. Like, I feel like a lot of on social media is everyone outside of Netflix right now.
Yeah, well, they were...
The guy who played Sean showed up to support them. Did you see that?
Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah, I saw like some
Yeah.
selfie with one of the picketers with him, and I was like, hell yeah.
I saw John Mulaney was there.
The biggest thing with this strike is like the writers want streamers to be transparent about how much people are watching their shows on their service and then getting paid the proper residuals for it. And it's specifically Netflix going like, go fuck yourself. We're not negotiating with that.
Yeah, because
They don't want to pay writers anything.
I learned about this in like a TV history class I took. It's specifically they pay for like the library for a certain amount of time. They don't pay based on viewers.
Yeah. When like it's essentially a rerun. You should get paid like it's a rerun. Did you see Pete Davidson like delivering pizzas to
I did. And people were like, I can see why he's sexy now. I was like, okay. Yeah, who else spoke about the writer's strike?
one of the guys from Ted Lasso, Roy Kent.
Brendan Hunt, yeah, he was there. Blake Anderson made like a video. It was kind of silly because he was like trying to like read a speech, and he's in the WGA, I think. But he was trying to like read a speech, but then it was all like jumbled mess of words, and he was like, writers, man, like we need them because
Yeah, so the guy that played Lucifer in Lucifer had a sign that said, "I'm an actor. I literally don't know what to say."
yeah, exactly. Quinta Brunson's was good. AI can't write Tariq's raps.
Oh my god, yes.
Avidon, da booty big, so I'm a grabbit.
I didn't realize that her boyfriend in that show is the guy who does the rap like, I put my dick in a bag of Doritos.
Is it?
Is he?
Yeah, that's
I know.
him.
I know. Vince
That's that
Staples
rapper.
plays. I know Vince Staples plays like her boyfriend in. Vince Staples is Mo.
Okay.
Yeah, Zach Fox plays her boyfriend in
Oh,
Internet
he's an
Country.
internet guy. Okay.
That makes sense. Well, yeah, she was a BuzzFeed person, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
He
Oh my god,
was,
he's
like,
collabed with Flying Lotus. You're kidding.
Yeah, have you seen that viral clip when he's like, I put my dick in a bag of Doritos?
Yeah. Oh, he was in the Eric Andre show, or he was
Yeah,
he was interviewed on the. No, you're kidding. He was in Kuso.
What's Guso?
He co-wrote Kuso. Okay. Kuso
Lena,
was
I'm
this.
sorry to do this.
No, like it's because it's like, okay, Kuso was this movie in 2017. It was a really, really cool concept. It was written by Flying Lotus, like the DJ, and also apparently Zach Fox and another guy. And it's this like, it's like a series of vignettes of like a post-apocalyptic LA. I watched it because Anders Holm was in it, but it was so fucking disturbing and gross because it's body horror.
Oh, no thank you.
Yeah, it was really hard to watch. I had to quit like 20 minutes in, I think. Yeah, it's really spooky. But it is a really cool idea, and like they've created this whole like world within it, but oh my god, it was disturbing. But yeah, that is so
Anyways.
interesting.
Crazy, derailing like always. Anything else about
But yes,
writer's strike?
we very clearly stand with the writers. Like,
Yes, for
good
sure,
media
no show.
doesn't get done without the writers. Like, and fucking, I think it was Apple or Prime. No, it was Amazon Prime saying, like, we want the showrunners to come back to work and do their non-writing jobs. The showrunners are like, we are the head writers. Like,
fuck
we
no.
are on strike. That's what a showrunner is.
Everything, well, yeah, it's like everything the showrunner does is steeped in writing. Like, because it's based on the narrative decisions and how that fits in with production. Like, they are like, showrunners oversee everything, but they are also the link from writing to production to post-production.
Yeah.
So
I said to Zoe, I was like, I feel like Saturday Night Live knew that the strike was going to happen because the person they had slated to host this weekend was Pete Davidson. Like, so they didn't get anybody real. Like,
after it was Kieran Culkin, and after that it was Jennifer Coolidge. Okay, I'm kind of glad we've narrowly avoided a Jennifer Coolidge hosted SNL because
That's
I do not
crazy.
think she would do a good job. I'm sorry.
yeah,
wow.
I love her, but I agree.
I would have killed for Kieran though, because Kieran is my favorite boy right now.
Yeah. Okay, Succession, Emmy, etc.,
I had a
etc.
meltdown today
Sarah
about
Snook,
how
Emmy,
Roman-
etc., etc.
I just saw Brian Cox is going to get put up as lead
I just
actor.
saw that.
So they're
That's
going to be
just
against
saw
each
that.
other.
Okay,
Wait, Brian Cox and who?
And Kieran Culkin are going to be against each other as lead actor.
that is the most Logan thing he could have ever done. And against
That's
Jeremy
crazy.
Strong, like, they're gonna split the vote like crazy. I feel like, okay, honestly, and I know, Evan, you're not caught up, but this isn't like a spoiler or anything. Like,
Mhm.
Jeremy, despite Kendall having such a big role this season, Kendall has been taking a step back narratively, I think.
Yeah.
Like Kendall, like,
Roman is being like pushed to the fucking front right now.
same with Shiv. This
Yeah.
whole last episode that you haven't watched is like a really Shiv heavy episode, but it was fantastic.
She's making me feel loco. Is she pregnant?
Yes.
Is that confirmed? Okay. I couldn't
Yes.
tell. They are so like, they tell you in like either jumbling nonsense or they literally like, I don't know, like the way they speak makes me feel crazy sometimes. So sometimes I miss important details. Okay, but good.
Yeah, no, because of that phone call with her doctor, and her doctor
Yeah,
was like,
after that phone call, I was
"Baby
like,
looks
she must be
good."
pregnant.
Okay, but the thing my mom and I have been talking about is that like in the show, she's supposed to be like 20 weeks, so she's like almost 6 months pregnant, and she's not showing at all.
Wait, what? 6
well,
months?
5 months, 20 weeks, 5 months. That you don't necessarily start showing yet.
I feel like bitches be showing at 2 months. What are you talking about?
There are some people that get through entire pregnancies and have no idea they're even pregnant.
No, but I feel like
True.
she's one of those built women that would
I mean, I do
show.
feel like she is wearing like for Shiv's fashion sense, she is wearing looser clothing this season, and I think that's on purpose. But I'm
She's
like
been drinking, hasn't she?
people are arguing about it because they're saying like she's probably fake drinking, as like just miming it or something, you know?
Yeah, like
Or, like,
milking
spitting it
just,
out
like,
after.
or doing like a fake sip or whatever.
Yeah, especially because like she did this like super invasive genetic test to like see if the baby was okay. Just to like go and drink after that is like, I don't think she would do that, you
True
know?
that. True that. Amanda, you don't watch the show at all.
I do not. No.
It's
It's crazy.
It's
It makes you
crazy.
feel
It's crazy, but it's also like if meetings were a show.
No, but it's so funny. Like I love getting the like everyone's like impressions of the characters and just like the insults and the way just like they speak. I'm just like,
Well,
it's
that's
gibberish.
why I started Veep, because it was all the same writers. Like Veep was
Oh,
before
shit.
Succession, so when Veep ended, that whole team basically moved to Succession because it's like because Jesse Armstrong worked on Veep, and so did like a bunch of other writers that are on
see
Succession.
everyone paralleling fucking Arrested Development to Succession.
Yeah, for real. Oh my god! You know what? I'm gonna say
Speaking-
something, and this might fall on deaf ears. For right now, because you haven't started Barry yet, but people are comparing Barry to Better Call Saul / Breaking Bad right now, and it's
That's
pissing me
crazy.
off.
That's crazy.
Transitioning into more shameless related news. The Bear, the whole
Bear
next
season
season is
2.
going to drop
The
one.
Bear.
The whole season's going to drop at once, which is crazy.
They need to stop doing that.
That's
because
that's
we
what they
need-
did. That's what they did last time.
I know, but we need that weekly discourse.
Yeah, give us
know.
like 2
I know.
episodes and then make us wait week for week.
That's honestly, I feel like that's why it's been so hard for me to get into television, besides like Succession and Barry, but like with the recent like forms of media is just like the instant drops where I'm like, I missed that discussion. Euphoria week was probably one of my favorite like 3-month periods of my entire life, or like 2-month period. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, weekly discourse online and like with friends and getting to watch like live on air and shit like that, like that made something. That's how I felt when I was a kid, when I had all those fucking stupid shows I was obsessed with. But like, damn media, dude.
Yeah, I do wish that they would give us like 2 episodes and then give us a week at a time.
Yeah, come on.
Like, it also gives the show an opportunity to grow an audience. Because, like, with streaming, they expect first day numbers to be, like, amazing. But it's, like, people struggle to find... I mean, like, it's like, they struggle to find their audience, especially if you don't have, like, a huge star.
Oh my god, HBO
headlining.
Max just recently released, like, kind of infographic of all of their shows and, like, how they've maintained being streamed. And a lot of them are, like... like they have dips and peaks. Our Flag Means Death was like the day it premiered and then a solid line.
That's
like,
so funny.
Just a consistent viewership.
That's so funny.
That is one of the most like loyal fan bases I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In my time here.
And like if you watched it, you definitely talked about it.
Speaking of talking about TV shows, hey, let's talk about Shameless.
Oh yeah, that other show.
We are
The ugly duckling of the TV shows.
Stop.
We are taking our sweet time getting through season 5, but this episode's gonna hurt us real bad.
Let's go.
This is one of the ones that I feel like we reference a lot.
Yeah. This is a Shameless Recap podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Amanda.
Oh, hi, I'm Evan.
I'm another host. I'm Lena. I'm like, I don't go second, I go third, Evan. Come on.
I know, I'm sorry. I stuttered. I was reading the intro.
Yes, that's Evan and Lena, and this is a Shameless Recap podcast, and we're transitioning away from our gossip about other television shows into our gossip about this television show that aired in 2015.
When you were like, that's Evan and Lena, I was about to be like, Dumb and Dumber.
But let's get into it, shall we? This is the episode 510, season 5, episode 10, Southside Rules. It aired on March 22nd, 2015, and it was written by our girl, Sheila Callahan. This is her 6th of 12 Shameless episodes she writes, so this is halfway through her tenure. She did 305, Sins of My Caretaker. 311, Order of Room Service. 405, Like Father, Like Daughter. 408, Hope Springs Paternal. 503, The Two Lisas, this one. 606, NSFW. 611, Sleep No More. 704, I Am a Storm. 709, Ouroboros. 805, The Miseducation of Liam Fergus Burkhart Gallagher. And 810, The Church of Gay Jesus.
Damn, banger after banger.
People used to call her like Mrs. Galovich on Tumblr.
If there's one thing we could count on, it was that Sheila would give us Galovich content. Did it always have a happy ending? Absolutely not. But she gave us the fucking content. And she also wrote on the iconic show United States of Terra, which I believe was lost to the writer's strike.
No,
I forget when it aired, but it ended abruptly. And I remember that. Hemlock Grove, sorry for your loss. She's very busy.
Hemlock Grove was a great show. Did you guys ever watch that show?
I did not. I should.
So it was I think this family, they go to this remote like island, or they live on an island or something, but it's basically about like werewolves, and it's like really, really cool. And I forget one of the Skarsgård brothers is in it.
Of course they are.
I think is it Bill? Is it Bill Skarsgård's in it, or
Bill Skarsgård is?
So was it him?
Is
no,
Pennywise?
I know that. Obviously.
Alexander Skarsgård is Matson, Succession.
True Blood.
Yes.
Oh, I went True Blood, but yes.
Oh, yes.
Their dad is in Mamma Mia.
There's another brother.
They keep dropping new ones.
Skarsgård update.
But while
it is Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård in
Yeah.
Hemlock Grove. It's a great show. It literally, remember watching it in like fucking middle school. Really eerie. And then there's this other show about like some Fairies Island or some island show. That was a crazy show.
Speaking of Bill Skarsgård, this episode was directed by Michael Uppendale. This is his first and only Shameless episode he directs. However, he does a lot of one-episode directing jobs, a lot of Ryan Murphy projects, but also Castle Rock with Bill Skarsgård and Noel Fisher.
Whoa!
Did he direct an episode where Noel's character was still, spoiler alert, alive?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I didn't check which episode he did.
I'll look it up, because I did watch Castle Rock.
But he did a lot of one episodes of Glee, Weeds, The Walking Dead, Scream Queens, AHS, Daredevil, Hollywood, Ratchet, Fargo.
He did 11 episodes of Mad Men.
Whoa.
Impressive.
The 2 episodes he directed of Glee, Choke is the episode where Rachel fucking bombs her NIADA audition in, like, season 3. And then Gleese is, like, the season 4 episode where all, like, the people who broke up in the, like, at the beginning of the season, it was, like, Kurt and Blaine and Rachel and Finn and Santana and Brittany and fucking Will and Emma, and that episode was Gleese. And so when they were performing Grease the musical, so everyone reconnected with the people they had broken up with at the beginning of the episode. These are 2 crazy fucking episodes.
Yeah, he directed specifically 3, like, the first couple episodes of Castle Rock.
So the ones where Noel was alive.
Yeah, well, I think
Yay.
Noel dies in the episode, like, 5. He
Is that
directed
the one
1,
when
2,
he
and
gets
4.
like sucked into the vent?
Yeah.
No,
I remember watching
no.
that clip and
No.
No?
He, like, goes crazy. He, like, has a moment. He's a prison guard. He, like, shoots up the prison, and then I think
I know,
they
but he
kill
gets
him.
like sucked into the sewer or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
gets,
he
like,
does?
He gets like scooped
I
up
forgot
by
that.
like the entity or something like that.
Yeah, like the Bill Skarsgård like monster thing gets
Oh, I
him.
so forgot that.
I remember laughing.
Speaking of
so
Yellow
hard at
Jackets,
that.
I mean, Melanie Linsky was the lead in
Melanie
that show.
Linsky!
And Jane Levy, Miss Mandy, was in it.
she's a bomber, and she was in The Last of Us. She was
Yes.
in The Last of Us.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
got fucking torn. Her husband was in the show. It was really cute. He played one of the zombies.
He voiced Dipper in Gravity Falls. What's his name? Jason.
Jason Ritter?
Joking.
Yes.
I didn't
Yes.
realize that was
So-
him.
Son of legendary John Ritter of Three's Company and Grounded for Life fame.
Yes.
An absolute sitcom king.
Damn.
He
God.
played JD's dad on Scrubs too, John Ritter.
I watched a couple episodes of Three's Company and Scrubs. I watched both of those
Yeah.
for a class I took.
Okay, so all-star team writing and directing this episode.
God.
Amazing. Okay, and this episode is about Frank is enjoying his time with Bianca until she thinks he has developed feelings for her, and then she leaves him. That's it. That's the whole synopsis.
That is a fucking spoiler and a half for the synopsis, though.
I know.
Like that's
if
their whole
someone-
arc this episode. Like, why
I know,
did they
like-
do that?
But, like, that's the whole synopsis.
Yeah.
Nobody else is included in it.
Mm-mm.
Well, they were preserving mystery.
Yeah. The previously on was done by Fiona on the toilet. Like, I'm taking care of 5 kids, and I even know what happened, and, like, there's no toilet paper. Classic. And previously on Shameless, last time we were here, Chucky went to jail, and so did Carl. Fiona kicked Sammy out. Ian finally got put on some meds to help manage his bipolar disorder. Lip started fucking his professor, and her husband is cool with it. Debbie is dating Derek. Lip and Kev are selling weed at Lip's school for extra cash. Gus went on tour and left Fiona behind. Frank made a new doctor friend who's dying of cancer. And Sean's son is moving to Pittsburgh but his parole officer said he cannot go with them.
Damn.
Boy, oh boy.
Juicy.
Credits.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I look at this giant ass Coke I picked up from the gas station because I didn't have time to go get boba because my bus took too long. So I was like, let me hit up the gas station by my house because I needed a beverage on this hot day.
I'm so mad that we
Okay.
don't record in person because I wish you would have brought me boba.
I know. I literally, so listeners, I had gotten off of work early and I was just like, I'm going to get some boba. I was like, I wonder if like they would want any. And though I literally was about to text, hey guys, do you want anything before the recording? And then I remembered, 2 of us are in the United states apart, and the other one is in Europe.
Okay.
It's okay.
So, we open on a close-up of Mickey attempting to give Ian a blowjob. It's just the sheet moving. The bedroom door open while Debbie sings along terribly to whatever she's listening to, and baby Liam watches from his bed.
I hate it. Aren't him and Ian
Movie
and Liam like
magic.
making eye contact? It's like
Yeah.
intimidating. I don't like this scene.
And, like, it's all terribly romantic, but somehow Ian isn't getting hard in this situation.
And he is frustrated.
He's really frustrated about it, and he's like, oh, it's the fucking meds. And Mickey's like, yeah, but maybe it's the jacked up teenager or the toddler staring at us, you know?
Well, it's like, girl, Mickey, why would you even start that?
Like, door open, baby in the room. Like, y'all didn't set it up to be, like, candlelit with fucking, like, Prince playing.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
Like, Ian was like, indulge me for a second. Like, maybe it'll work.
But, like, the absolute growth that Mickey, kiss me and I'll cut your fucking tongue out, Milkovich. He goes from don't express affection to me in front of anybody to, yeah, I'll blow you while your sister's down the hall and can see us. Like, growth. They say they'll try again later, and he gets all of Ian's meds for the day laid out, and Ian's like, what are you, my fucking nurse now? And Mickey, of course, kisses him on the top of the head, goes, take your fucking pills, bitch.
He kisses him on the head. He gives him some, like, fucking day-old Gatorade.
God, it reminds me of Frank's piss Gatorade.
Yes, me too!
I hate warm Gatorade. Warm Gatorade is, like, my nemesis. I need my beverages to be cold.
So they go downstairs where for some reason Sammy is still in the house.
Go away.
Mickey tells Ian, hey, no caffeine on your meds. And Ian pours himself a cup of coffee anyway. And Mickey's like, throws a hand up in the background.
He's
like,
so
okay.
real.
The milk has gone bad. And Sammy says, well, it's not her responsibility anymore. To which Debbie asks, why are you still here?
Literally!
Great question.
If
We
it's
ask
not your
that every
responsibility, what the
episode.
fuck are you doing here, dude?
Apparently she's still looking for apartments. But like, look in the yard, in a tent. Get the fuck out of this house. The water is also shut off and no one went grocery shopping.
They all had stuff to deal with.
Mickey gives the last part of a leftover donut to Ian because he's like, you take all those pills on an empty stomach and you're going to have diarrhea real bad.
Is this the scene when he's like, I gotta poop?
Yeah.
Yes.
Takes one bite of a donut and goes, I got to poop.
God, the best scene. And then the parallel to Franny.
He was just doing that to piss him off, though. It's like, he was just like,
Yeah, he didn't have to poop.
or like maybe he did, but he's also like, I didn't have to say anything.
Okay, but like after, not to go there, but like after I have my morning cup of coffee, it's the first thing I'd be doing too.
Real.
Meanwhile, in Lip's professor's house, Helen, I think her name is, the husband is cooking crepes for breakfast.
I love him. He's so silly.
And the husband calls Lip the new boy in like a sort of mocking tone. I bet Jeremy Allen White could make those crepes now. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. Dude, I'm so excited for like new images of him in the kitchen to come out, like promo images that people use as
Me
memes
too.
because they're so funny.
Okay, so Helen and the husband ask if there's anything they can do to make this situation less weird for Lip, any boundaries he has to set, and he's like, no, I'm good, because he's like, what the fuck do I say to that?
Would we consider her husband cuck?
Yeah, but it's like consensually.
Because does it? Yeah,
I think they're just open. Yeah.
yeah. But like, there's that one point he's like, oh, he just wants to watch.
I do feel like he likes it though. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like it is like a kink for him. Cause it's like, why would he go out of his way to like cook him breakfast and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah. Over at Bianca's house, Frank is giving her tea and aspirin and a cold compress. He's actually kind of killer when it comes to hangover management. He knows the drill. And he suggests a great dive diner with really fantastic shit on a shingle, which is cream chip beef on toast.
Ooh, I haven't had chip beef in so long. That sounds awesome.
You've heard of it called shit on a shingle before, right?
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's called. It's
No.
because you toast
Yeah.
it so that the toast is nice and firm, shingle, and it looks like that.
Yeah, and it looks like absolute vomit.
Yeah, I'm like, I definitely see where they got the name from.
Yeah, like it's not an appetizing name, but like it's still very delicious.
That would be great hangover food.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, my favorite is biscuits and gravy. That's my fucking go-to. Sausage gravy.
So Bianca starts to come to her senses now that she's sober, and she kicks Frank out of her house. She's like, oh my god, I've made a mistake. Get the fuck out of my
His
house.
homeboy slept on the couch last night.
You're lucky he didn't murder you.
Right? But smart move.
But
on
he
her
already
part.
robbed her, so no.
True. She's got money to burn.
Not a very smart move. Pretty much anything Fiona's up to. She is at Gus's apartment, watering his plants, looking like me the 2 weeks that my parents were out of town. Like, I think this is what you do to plants. And then she's picking up and smelling his t-shirts.
Girl.
Like been there, done that, but like weirdo.
She calls him and it's kind of awkward, and he says he's confused about them, and she says she's also confused about them. And Fiona's like, well, why don't we set up a Skype date for Skype sex. And he seems into it. And then they hang up with no, like, love you, nothing like that.
Have they said I love you? I forget.
They're married.
That doesn't mean anything.
I think, like, I'm sure they did at some point. At least, especially after they were married, like those first couple days where it was good. Yeah.
But I feel like I don't remember if I've ever heard them say it.
I don't know if it's ever been on screen.
Who is yelling outside of my apartment?
Someone who has something to say.
Ugh, Debbie. Okay. She goes to the gym with Derek, and he says he wants to have sex tonight after they eat barbecue. Which, why? Absolutely not.
They definitely did that on purpose to be like, we should have some barbecue. And I want to have sex tonight.
Like, barbecue is not a sexy food. No, it makes you bloated and gassy. No,
I mean, he's a teen boy. What can he? What do you expect from him?
He's bulking.
Meanwhile, Kev has the babies in the dorm, and they're crying and upsetting the college students that live next door. And one of them even knocks on the door like, hey, can you knock it the fuck off with the crying babies? But V calls and says one of their milk bombs is out of commission, so now he has to push this strain of weed like a little faster at school. And so when that kid knocks on the door, is like, hey, you have to shut your kids up or we're going to turn you in. Kev's like, oh, what a shame. I was about to sell you all of this weed for half price.
I know, his like voice gradually getting louder.
And then someone like in the hallway just yells, cheap weed! And they all come flying in.
Hell yeah. That's community right there.
It sure is. At home, Fiona and Debbie are putting together a care package for Carl. And Debbie says she wants to go to Planned Parenthood to go on the pill.
Oh my god, yeah.
And Fiona's super uncomfortable, but says she'll set up an appointment.
God damn.
Are you... Okay. Like, logistically, how much of that care package would even actually make it through...
Right?
Juvie? Like, you know what I mean? Well, it's also like, care package and juvie? Just refill his commissary.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. They probably will have to pick through it or, like, maybe give it to him in, like,
they're going to throw a bunch of shit out, probably. Carl's not going to read a book. Don't send him a book.
Yeah,
like
fuck off.
We go to Ian at work where we get to see through his eyes, like we did when he was a little manic, that the meds are making everything just a little foggy and a little out of focus. And he clearly feels, like, really numbed out. And we see him focus in on the grill top. And then he walks over to it and puts his hand down for just long enough for it to burn him.
That should be sizzling.
It's boiled. It blistered.
At least the chef that was like there, like turned around and saw it, seemed like nice. Like, hey, would you like me to get you the first aid kit? Are you okay?
It was so funny because he like pulled up his hand and it's literally like bloody raw, and he's like, "What's wrong?" Like, he was like so nice, but like so it was like so nonchalant that his hands literally like falling off.
Why do we now need a Frank sex scene? Why was this necessary? One might ask. Because he's fucking a woman in the bathroom of the Alibi while he rants about Bianca, and the woman like puts up with it for just like a little while, and then it's like, okay, I'm done now. Actually,
how did he seduce her enough to even like get to that point too?
He somehow always manages just to fuck randos in the bar. I don't get it. Like, I don't think I would ever be that drunk to fuck Frank.
Right?
No. Like
I feel like he stinks. He's stinky.
He definitely smells bad. For sure. Unless he maybe he took a shower while he was at Bianca's.
He does
was
like
like,
a little like
he was like, this is my opportunity.
Fiona comes into the bar with Liam, and they have she and V have some girl talk about Gus and the Skype sex and V and Kev's problems. And then Frank comes up to them with his boo-hoo shit about Bianca. And Fiona's like, I would literally rather help Liam go poop right now than to listen to this. So we're gonna go poop.
Good for her.
V asks Frank, okay, so what's the scam with Bianca? And Frank's like, there is no scam. I just like her. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no scam.
Like, honestly, like, yes and no. Like, he definitely does enjoy her time, but he also is abusing her wealth and her situation to do more crazy, reckless things, I guess.
I mean, he also doesn't know her.
Yeah.
Like, they've spent a total of 24 hours together at this point.
But I think he sees her depressive but impulsive decision-making, and he sees Monica.
Oh my god, that is such a good take. That is an amazing take. Yeah.
She looks like a young Monica. Like he sees,
because she's blonde and she's
Monica in
blonde.
her.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are so right.
Damn.
That's also why Queenie was such like a thing for Frank.
Oh yeah.
It all comes back to Monica every goddamn time.
Damn. Yeah, you're so right.
And V asks, like, if this is for real, does the world stop spinning when you look at her? He says that her and the barflies are no help, and then he leaves an almost completely full beer untouched on the bar.
Oh my god, they're like, no, this is serious.
I know, because they all like stare at it.
Like, what do you mean he just walked out of here without slamming that? That doesn't make any sense. So in Lip's dorm room, his girlfriend Amanda has come to visit, and he's vague as hell about how he made the tuition thing work. He's just like, yeah. I figured it out. Don't worry about it. And then she says the lesbian roommate that she's been fucking is too clingy, and she wants to go strictly dickly for a while.
She was complaining so hard about how that roommate was like not over her and like blah blah blah, and then yet like continued to fuck her.
So
Bro,
stupid.
what are you
So
thinking?
fucking
Like,
dumb.
Queer women don't get any joy on this show. He blows her off. She's like, hey, let's fuck. And he's like, no, thank you. And he tells her about the situation with his professor and her husband. And she's like, are you falling in love with her? And he's like, no. But then he once again turns up free sex with Amanda. And she's like, okay, so like also eventually I'm going to need my car back.
I know. She's like, so you won't give me what I want, so I want my car back.
Yeah. She's like, this is weird now. And then literally seconds later, you hear a loud scream and all of Lip's residents have a really bad reaction to the synthetic weed
They're
Kev
all like
sold them.
tweaking out.
Yeah.
like, was it ever really established what like
Yeah, Kevin finds out, but I don't remember.
that that the weed was synthetic? Yeah. Like, did he know he was selling them?
He didn't
Synthetic?
know until after, because I think like I forget if it's mentioned.
He knew he got a cheap batch. And when they started having the reactions, he's like, well, that's why it was a cheap batch.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the only indication was like he was like, well, damn, that's why it was so cheap.
Like, I didn't know if it was like a thing, like he was trying to cut corners type thing.
Mm-mm.
He just saw a deal and took it and then went, oh, fuck.
Damn, that's really scary. That is so scary. Synthetic weed is some of the most evil stuff on planet Earth, I think.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Because what is it, like salvia? Is that
Salvia.
what yeah.
Yeah.
Or spice.
I think they're the same thing. Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
One of them's like, he's like freaking out on the floor. They're having like very bad and loud reactions to this.
I mean,
weed.
yeah, they're literally like hallucinating. They're tweaking.
Yeah. They're like convulsing.
At home, Sammy sees Ian's burned hand and offers to take care of it. And she's like, well, you'll have a nice fat scar. And he says it'll match the one he got in the army. Did we know he had a scar on his hand from the
No.
army?
Oh, they never mentioned it before.
And they will never mention it again.
Maybe it's from stealing the helicopter.
But they do. He does hold his hand up, and there is like a scar on
Yeah.
it.
But like, we have never seen that before and we will never see it again.
Helicopter moments be like.
Say, I love you.
And he tells her like how he got it and that the MPs are after him after all the shit he pulled in the army. And she goes, wow, hardcore. And he goes, no, just mentally ill. But now Sammy knows things. Terrible, horrible things.
Ian, don't talk to her.
Not that MPs are after him.
Oh. At Planned Parenthood, Debbie and Fiona are bonding over Fiona's story about Monica bringing her here for the first time. Also, if you have a little extra money lying around, why don't you go ahead and donate to Planned Parenthood, everybody? The doctor tells Debbie, she's like, here is the pill. The pill does not work until you've been taking it for 48 hours. Do not try to have sex before that. And if you do, use other protection. And Debbie's like, got it. Like, she could not be clearer.
Like, bitch, you are lying. You do not got it.
And Kev comes to Lip's dorm and sees all the kids having the weed reaction. And yeah, it was an honest mistake. He's like, I just got cheap weed. I didn't know why it was cheap weed. And they're like, okay, we have to round everybody up to keep them safe. And while they're trying to keep one kid who keeps slamming his head against the wall from going out Lip's door, another one jumps out the window.
He says like I can fly, or like I'm a bird, or something
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
as he jumps out.
But like that should not be able to happen because every single dorm room in this fucking country has windows that don't open wide enough for a human being to fit out of for exactly this reason.
Who am I crazy? Is it Tony Revolori who plays this kid? Am I just misremembering? He's in a different episode of Shameless.
I don't think so.
Tony
I don't know who that
Revolori. Keep going. He's in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, Spider-Man?
In
The guy
Spider-Man?
from Spider-Man?
In Spider-Man. Yeah.
And
I don't think
Scream,
it's the same kid.
It's not him.
Yeah.
The guy from he's in.
I think
the
it's
new
a kid that
Scream
just
movie.
looks like him.
He was in an earlier episode. He was in a season 3 episode.
Okay.
Oh, what
I
was-
knew
who
he
was
was
he
in
season
Shameless.
3?
He was Sanchez.
He was probably like a kid buying an essay from Lip.
I think you're right. Either that or no. It was something with Lip. I can't remember if it was drugs. I think it was something drug related
Or was it
because this was a season 3 episode, The American Dream.
The robot thingies. What's it called?
No. It was the kid that came into his room while Lip was like in his bedroom getting dressed. And he's like, this essay you gave me isn't good enough. I think it was that
Yeah, I think so.
No, I thought that guy was Korean because then Lip makes a bunch of really racist Korean jokes.
right.
Oh,
kid. We're
And then
literally
he
just racking our brains.
he makes a joke about Jewish people right after. No, this kid's name was Sanchez. I don't remember what he did.
Wait, was it the kid that owed Mickey money?
Yes,
the
it
kid
might
that-
be.
Yeah, the kid at the
Yes,
locker that owed
yes,
Mickey
yes,
money.
yes. Yes, you're right. Damn, we would
Oh my
kill
God.
bar trivia. Shameless bar
that's
trivia.
crazy.
Yes, you're right.
For the
That's
record,
Tony
I didn't
Revolori.
Google that. I just racked my little noggin.
But I
Okay.
do know, isn't Robbie from Shameless in this episode?
Yes, he is. No,
Yes.
he was in the previous episode or so.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He was like,
Sorry.
he stole my weed, and he
You
was
mean
like,
Robbie from Victorious?
Yes. What did I say?
You said Robbie from Shameless.
Because he is at this point.
He is
Okay,
Robbie
I'm
from
sorry.
Shameless.
Keep going.
Okay, so yeah, that kid shouldn't have been able to jump out that window because college dorm windows don't open that far. So that kids don't jump out of them. At home, Ian is sitting depressed in bed, and Frank comes in, butt-ass naked, to borrow Ian's deodorant so he could smell good for his Bianca date. And Ian's like, I don't have any. I ran out. And Frank's like, of course you did. And of course there's no fucking water in this house.
He's been using Lips, hasn't he? Or Carl's. Yeah.
So Ian gets up and gets changed and goes downstairs where Mickey is setting out all of the vitamins that he picked up at the pharmacy. He says, I didn't know which bees to get, so I just got all the fucking bees. And Ian ignores all of Mickey's talking about the vitamins that he just picked up, and he's filling his backpack with beer one-handed. And Mickey's like, hey, what the fuck happened to your hand? And Ian will not answer him. And Ian's like, so we're going to go out, and either you can stay here and jerk off into your vitamins, or you can come with me. And that's your call.
he's like getting all up on him too. Like he's like fucking stancing him. Like
He's
getting
picking
tall.
a fight.
Yeah.
He's already laying the foundation for a fight.
Yes. Back over to Frank, who's bringing Bianca flowers that he clearly pulled out of somebody's garden.
I know, you can literally see the roots on them.
Her sister is at the apartment and tells him to fuck off and go away. But he refuses to back down because he's Frank Gallagher. So he goes around the back and climbs in the dumpster and tries to jump up onto the fire escape, but he ends up falling into the dumpster.
It's so funny.
And so he just starts screaming until Bianca opens her window. And he tells her that he knows how to live every single day of his life like you're going to die tomorrow. And he says, stick with me, woman, and you will not go gently into that good night.
Damn.
He is so
Kinda
right,
badass.
though.
Like, he's kind of real for that. Like, I'm kind of getting into this storyline.
It's kind of good. It is kind of good.
In the last episode, it felt like a waste of time, but I'm getting into this.
No, it is actually good. I think it does go.
This
an
episode is
entertaining
fast too. Like everything's just
fast.
like boom, boom, boom.
Right,
boom.
we're already halfway through. I was like, whoa.
I know that's what I was looking at. I was like, damn.
Her sister pulls her back into the apartment, and Frank's like, okay, I'm gonna sit outside and sip this bottle of vodka. You have until I finish to come out here.
An insane sentence.
Yeah.
The whole bottle. A crazy person sentence.
Speaking of weird fucking relationships, Lip has brought his broken college student to his girlfriend professor's house so her husband can take care of him.
I don't like honestly. I get why he did that, but that was stupid.
Yeah. Well, because he heard her husband be called doctor, So he's like, oh, doctor. And she's like, he has a doctorate. Like, he is not
No,
a
yeah,
doctor.
it's like he forgets that everybody's called doctor on like a college campus.
And she's like, he cannot fucking help this kid. I need to call 911. At home, Fiona's upstairs being stood up for Skype sex. And so she calls Sean instead. And she's wearing her wedding ring on her right hand. What is up with that?
Maybe
Why is she
because
wearing
she's
her
like, maybe,
Placebo.
well, maybe she's like, okay, like, I don't want to take it off because I'm not divorced yet.
Yeah.
But also, like, we're not together. Like, she doesn't want to believe it yet. I've also heard of,
felt
like, I've heard of people doing it where they'll wear their engagement ring on their right hand until they're, like, married, and then they'll switch it to the left hand.
Huh.
Or maybe
But,
is there
like,
something
I
with, like,
like,
a...
looked at her hand, and then I looked at my hands. I was like, that's the wrong hand.
Let's see. On the right ring finger... Yeah, in some countries, the engagement ring is worn on the right ring finger.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird. Just a weird thing I noticed. Anyway, Sean is waiting for his ex to swing by and pick up their son and his stuff. And then we go back to Lip and Helene. She called 911 because they needed to call 911, and he's freaking the fuck out about it. He's maintaining Southside rules about everything. He's like, we can't call the cops. He's on drugs. He'll get in trouble. I have to stick by him. And she...
Dude, good Samaritan law. Come on.
Yeah. And she's not into it. She's like, drop the whole noble thug shit. You're covering your own ass and you know it. You have the choice right now to recognize that you're a promising college student, not some ghetto outlaw. Now stop behaving like the world is out to get you while it is so clearly dropping gifts at your feet. Or you can keep doing what you're doing and end up in a cell somewhere, angry and out of options.
And to be honest, she spit. She spit with that.
Yeah. No, she's spitting it.
Just at least this season, because I feel like in the past it is like the world is kind of out to get Lip, but there was a whole arc where it was like he kept running away from opportunity and opportunity kept finding him. So,
yeah.
And what happened? And what happens to Lip?
But even after all of that, she gives him that, like, very relevant and important spiel. But then she's like, get out of here. Help me get this kid. I'll say I found him. I'll say he, like, collapsed on my lawn. Go. So, like,
right, like, that is such an easy solution.
Yeah.
Why did they not think of that earlier? Or why didn't Lip think of that earlier? Like, oh, I just found this kid. Like, you're on a college campus. You find kids everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
You're an RA.
Yeah, exactly.
Back with Debbie, she's getting her nails done by Derek's brother's baby mama. And she's learning all about teen motherhood. And this woman says when Derek's family took her in, when she had the baby, it felt like she got the family she always wanted to have. And that lands in Debbie's little noggin. That lands right there.
Insane, because Debbie has a pretty okay family for the circumstances that they're in.
Yeah. They've got a roof over their head. They'll get the water turned back on. Like,
well, it's also like a lot of their problems are like circumstances that they are in, not how much they like each other.
yeah.
Like they don't really like fight just to fight. So I'm like, you and your family get along like pretty well. I think she just doesn't want, what it really is she just doesn't want responsibility in a weird way, and she thinks that like being taken in by another family, even though she's caring for a baby of her own, would like free her of that responsibility.
Yeah. She's forgetting about the whole having to raise a baby.
Like having a baby. Yeah.
And so then we go back to Ian and Mickey for an iconic scene. They hop the fence to get into the baseball field. Clearly a different set from season 2, but we can pretend.
It's okay.
Because it's like not a below ground dugout. It's an above ground dugout. Ian goes to try to do pull-ups like the last time, but he's out of shape and his hand is hurt.
Yeah, dude, fucking dragging a burn on a dummy.
Yeah.
But also he just wants to feel something.
Yeah. Ian pulls out one of the beers and Mickey's like, yo, dude, you can't drink that. It'll make your blood fucking toxic. And so Ian puts the beer down and throws a punch at Mickey.
Oof. And then doesn't, like, the guitar riff of the song is already started, right?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. That starts after.
Not till they're, like, really pushing and shoving.
But, like, he says he's sick and fucking tired of Mickey nursing him. And he says, I need the shit-talking, bitch-slapping piece of Southside trash I fell for. Where the fuck is he, Mickey? And Mickey says, fuck me for giving a shit. And Ian says, give all the shits you want, but the next time my dick is limp from all the meds, don't go all, it's okay, what? Just suck harder. Like,
he kind of ate that. I'm sorry.
Bro.
I'm sorry. Like, every time he says that and he spits it, I'm like, Ian. Like,
God.
what are you doing?
Juicy.
they
It
know
made me
what
laugh.
buttons to push with each other to get that, like, fuck you, like, fight reaction.
Especially because he then calls him, like, a slur. And
Yeah.
Mickey's like, oh, I'm gonna beat your ass so bad right
Yeah.
now.
And then they beat the ever-loving shit out of each other. They just start fucking swinging. And, like, honestly, they're both mad for various reasons, and they kind of needed to get this out of their system. They needed
Yeah.
to beat the shit out of each other.
Definitely not the healthiest.
Well, because it's like they're not beating the shit out of each other to beat the because, like, they're not. I'm not condoning this because this is bad that they do this. But it's like they're taking their aggressions out about other problems through each other.
Yeah.
Like, it would be the same thing if they had, like, hate sex or something, I feel like.
Yeah.
And this is, like, how they fell in love. Like,
Right.
fighting and fucking.
But I'm like,
that's
it's not that Ian is mad at Mickey, and it's not that Mickey is mad at Ian. They're mad at the situation that they're in right now. Ian's mad that he can't feel shit and that he can't get hard and that, like, all this stuff. And he's like, okay, like, to get my anger and aggression out, I'm just gonna, like, beat the shit out of Mickey. And Mickey's like, well, I'll beat the shit out of
He's
you
like,
too.
I want to feel like my old self. Let's go back to the dugout. Let's beat the fucking life out of each other and, like, be the thing we like fell in love being.
Yeah. And it's like, that's bad that they do that. And I'm glad that later they're like, it's bad that we do that. But
Yeah, they're,
for
like,
what it is right
laying-
now, at the end of the day, they're both like 17-year-olds. So
God, I always forget how young they are.
Ian is supposedly still 17. Yeah.
The way the fight ends with both of them laying on the baseball field and, like, kind of half-heartedly, like, swatting arms at each other. It's like, the beef is squashed.
When
You know that just, like-
they're trying to strangle each other and they're both like choking and trying to strangle each other. It's like, guys, just stop. But then they both quit it at the same time. They're like, no. We're
Yeah.
done.
And then they sit up and coming up for air.
What a song.
They get all up, all bloody and bruised, and they shotgun some beers. And, like, when Ian stabs the one beer, it gets it all over Mickey, and Mickey flips him off.
That's so funny. Look
And
like
they
a fucking rat.
They sit there, and Ian says this is the first time he's felt anything since, and he means since, like, he took Yiv. And Mickey says, you look like a wet rat. And then they kiss, and they start taking their clothes off, and we cut away.
The way he said, he's like, you look like a wet rat.
It is such a fascinating scene.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, it is, yeah. Because when you really get into it, like, when you really start to nitpick it and you nitpick their characterization, fascinating scene.
Mm-hmm.
Over to Fiona, who has come to visit Sean and see his son off. His ex seems sweet, like she seems like a nice person. She's nice to Fiona, and she seems to regret having to take the kid away, but she's like, I got a new job, and it's a really good it's a really good job with really good pay, and I couldn't not take it. And so, like, no hate to Sean's ex. She seems nice, and she's just doing what she's got to do. Gus calls while she's there, and Fiona rejects the call. They go to the bar where they drink soda, and she tries to check in on him, but he won't let her. And he accuses her of making other people's problems her job, and that she uses it to avoid her own problems. And she says she's here because she cares about him. And he accuses her of lying in wait for him to be vulnerable so that he will finally say yes and fuck her.
Damn.
I really enjoy her standing up for herself. She's like, okay, I see that you're in a dark place right now. You don't get to take that shit out on me.
Yeah. They are seriously in, like, such a rock and a hard place right now.
And then because he's pissed off and because he needs something to happen, he picks a fight with a guy at the bar. And I can honestly say I don't remember this scene ever. Like, I don't remember this happening. I must have blocked Sean out of my head completely.
I do. I remember this.
I do. He just keeps on, like, nagging at him, and then she literally is like, did you do that on purpose? And he starts laughing. He's like, maybe. It's really funny.
I do, because I remember the scene after where they're like in the kitchen, the Gallagher kitchen, and he's nursing some sort of cut or something. Or no, that was because of
That's a later thing.
that was so earlier. Yeah.
But like I think I just have Sean blindness. I like just don't remember a lot of his shit.
That's really funny.
But he gets his ass kicked and he can only laugh about it because he was trying to get his ass kicked. And then back at the dorm, Kev is sitting fucking terrified about the kid that jumped out the window, and Lip comes back and they get to talking, and Lip says since his tuition is covered, they need to stop selling and Kev has to go. So Kev does not take being kicked out very well. He's like, the kids like him here. He can be of use here. And he's like, I have nowhere else to go. And Lip says, go home to your wife.
Literally.
Like,
like
oh boy,
come
you've
on.
had a bed and a roof this entire time. You're choosing to hang out with a bunch of co-eds.
And he missed his wife the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
He thought about her.
Come on.
Showed her off.
And then we cut to Bianca showing her sister the door. Her sister is crying and saying Bianca's being selfish. Frank is still there, and Bianca opens up to him because she's like, she's not going to do treatment, and that's why her sister thinks she's being selfish. And she asks, why are you doing this? Why are you here? Why are you being here for me? And he's like, I don't know, but I'll never push chemo on you, and I'll never make you feel bad for not getting treatment. I won't tell you to fight. I'll never make you feel like you're obligated to try. I'll just be here.
Damn, just a little support. Just someone to be there to listen
yeah.
and steal your money while he's at it.
Well, she says, thank God, let's go get tattoos.
Baddie.
Back at home, Debbie has taken Derek to her bedroom and says she loves him. She met him 5 minutes ago. He says, oh, you're the sweetest. She says, I love you. He says, you're the sweetest.
He's like
Telling.
the most like fucking blank-faced individual you could ever like meet. I feel like he doesn't show any emotion.
He really doesn't. And then they like recasted him later.
Yeah, as like
Oh, did
yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. They
'Cause he
recasted
goes-
him
when
later,
he comes
and it was
back
weird.
from like the army or whatever. He's like a completely different person.
But like,
Dude, they did the same thing with Jesus and the Fosters. They were like, "Whoa, you look so different."
Didn't it go from like Jake T. Austin to Noah Santin?
to Noah Centineo? Yeah.
That's so funny. He was like, "Hey, it's me."
But he pulls out a condom, and she immediately says, we don't need it, I'm on the pill.
Bitch.
Baby trapper!
Literally.
Like, baby trapper! They get down to business, and we cut away, because we've never seen a Debbie sex scene, and we never will.
Well, and she was still a minor at this time.
No, like, that's not a negative thing. That's just, like, a fact of the show.
Yeah.
Do we?
Is that true?
No, I think
There's
No,
like-
no. That's not true. Season 11 with that guy in the
I
bar.
don't think that counts.
It counts to me.
I think it counts.
I think it counts.
Fiona is tending to Sean's wounds on the sidewalk, and she calls him out for acting like he was acting. No, she calls him out for acting like she was acting when he called her a chaos junkie. And he tries to shove her away, and she's like, I'm not going to leave until I know you're okay, and that you're not going to go get high. And he's like, I'm not okay, and I'm not going to be okay. My addiction is serious and permanent. Like, this is not going away. Then he kisses her.
An addict's always an addict. He never stops saying it.
I think I remember this scene.
And then he kisses her and he tells her to go home. And speaking of going home, Kev is back at his. V is asleep in the bed with the girls. And Kev gets in, barely even takes his shoes off, doesn't take his jacket off, and slides into bed. And V wakes up.
The song here. I know the song here.
What's the song?
It's called Cherry Blossoms. I think it's called Cherry Blossom. Okay, come back to me, like, in 2 seconds.
But V wakes up and they just, like, look at each other. And they don't have a conversation. They're just looking at each other in the bed. And then Lip goes to the hospital to visit his resident, who has a broken leg that'll heal easily in a few weeks. And Lip's like, did you talk to the cops? And he's like, yeah, I told him that your buddy sold me the weed because I don't want to go to jail. And then then he just keeps going and going. And Lip's like, oh my God, you're kidding. And the guy's like, yeah, man. Like, Southside rules. We don't fucking snitch on each other.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's Cherry Blossoms by Night Beds is the song that plays in that scene.
But yeah, like, they laugh about it. Lip says thank you. The Kiv says, don't worry about it. Where I come from, we got each other's backs.
Time to kill ourselves.
Okay.
Bum,
Fuck
bum,
this.
bum.
Fuck this so
There was like
hard.
the wah wah wah.
Ah, God, I'm so angry
wah,
that we have to
wah.
talk about this scene.
I think the episode actually ends right after Lip and his buddy have a conversation, then it cuts the credits, right?
Oh, yeah, and that's the end of the season,
Yeah,
actually.
no, that's right. And like all the critics were like, why is this episode like 5 to 6 minutes shorter than it usually is?
Yeah, there's a glitch. The
Yeah.
writer's strike, guys.
Oh, yeah.
They got them.
2015. Okay, so they're walking down the street, drunk, singing Love is a Battlefield at the top of their lungs, and they seem happy, like happy. And they talk about how they've never gone on an actual date, like sitting in a restaurant with food and wearing shirts and shit. And Mickey's like, okay, let's go to Sizzler. Like, let's go on a date right now. And they go inside.
I think it's like Mickey, he's like going on like a real date, and he's like Sizzler, and he's like, let's go to fucking Sizzler. Have you guys been to a Sizzler? I don't think I have.
They don't have them in my area of the Midwest. I don't think. Or maybe they do, but I've never been to one. But I've never seen one either.
They go inside and they're happy and they're talking about how they're going to get a steak so rare it's still mooing. And Sammy is standing there and she says, Ian, I think you're a good person and I'm so sorry. And she calls in the fucking MPs because she turned
I hope she dies.
Ian in.
I hope she dies.
Oh,
I literally want to knock her out.
I'm going to put a curse on her.
Ian tries to run and Mickey tries to fight, but they throw Ian down on the staircase and pull a gun out on Mickey, who's got fucking murder in his eyes.
Dude.
And he's screaming,
Emmy!
Yeah. He's screaming,
Emmy!
he's screaming, you can't just drag him out of his fucking house. He's sick, for fuck's sake. And Mickey just keeps asking, where are you taking him? Where are you taking him? And Fiona runs up on the house as this is happening. And Sammy, from the porch, says, it's a shame when someone you love gets taken away, isn't it? Kill her now.
Bold of her to choose Ian, too.
Come
on.
Like, literally doesn't feel
They
like
don't give a
just,
shit
like,
about him sometimes.
Doesn't someone go, she was like, Carl's literally incarcerated right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he already got taken away because you turned him in, girl.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to do it twice.
For one brief second, when that happens, Fiona and Mickey are standing there together, and they, like, look at each other. They should have run into that fucking house and killed that bitch where she was standing. Like,
but the MPs were right outside.
No, they drove away with Ian. They got in the car and they fucking drove away.
Oh, yeah, because Fiona's got her hand on the window as it goes.
Ugh. We cut to credits. I couldn't identify the song.
I'll find it.
Next time on Shameless, Ian faces the force of the army for his crimes. Debbie and Mickey come together to torture Sammy against Fiona's wishes. Helene brings Lip to a cocktail party without telling her husband. Bianca and Frank get closer. Monica comes to visit Ian in jail.
Ooh.
And Fiona and Sean have a little date just in time for her husband to come home.
I love that for them.
The end credit song is Don't You Start by Sleepy Kitty.
This is a good music episode. I think
there's some really great songs here.
Coming up for
The song while Ian and Mickey try to fight the MPs is called Cigarettes by Kobe Brown. I feel like that's a good one too.
But ow.
Damn. The fact that this episode does so much damage, and the fact that this is one of our shortest recordings, and we honestly talked for about 20 minutes before we even got into the episode.
We were talking so much bullshit.
And
like, what was that all about?
How did that episode go by so fast?
I was so ready for this one to be like at least 2 hours.
But it does.
No, same. I was telling people, I was like, I'm going to be on this call for like at least an hour and a half.
It's like a fast burn, not a slow burn. It's a fast burn.
This episode fucking moves. Sheila knows how to keep it brief. She's like, let's get this story done.
Yeah, dude. Every episode genuinely feels like it
real.
was under like 2 minutes each scene. Like, I feel like they were so short.
Oh, God.
But they weren't like forgettable. They were short, but they weren't forgettable.
Everything did something to develop each character's like
every scene
status
matters
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Goddamn.
My goodness.
What do we think about this episode, guys.
It hurts,
It's a good one.
but it's so good.
Rewatching it is a little hard, but
Yeah, definitely, because those are
it makes sense for what it is.
such like Ian and Mickey growth scenes that are the worst things. Like it's just like yes, we
Yeah.
see them develop, but we're like, why did they have to go through that though?
It's definitely my second least rewatched episode. I've rewatched the Ian and Mickey scenes, but like the end of the episode hurts
But the episode
so bad.
as a whole.
But like episode
Yeah.
512 is the one I think I might have only seen it like twice, if that.
You're gonna have a time. You're gonna
I'm
have
gonna hate
such a
every
time.
second of it.
I've definitely rewatched that one more than that. Probably 4 or 5 times.
Because I think I might have rewatched season 5 before season 6 started, anticipating season 6 like having
good.
content. And then I watched the first episode of season 6 and I was like, oh, I'm done, actually.
Doesn't like
Season 6 is good. I think you're gonna like it just fine.
But ow, I want Sammy dead, just like Mickey. I agree. Fuck this lady. Fuck this lady entirely. And Sheila
bitch.
Callahan did a great job writing this episode. So I sure do hope she got paid for it.
Yes.
faux show.
And like, yeah, we're gonna see a lot of our favorite shows returning soon, but that's because they were filmed and in the can and they're going up. And fucking writer's strike, man. We're gonna lose a lot of good shows to this writer's strike.
Dude, streaming fucked up everything.
We already lose good shows every goddamn week because streaming just doesn't like waiting.
I love like streaming because I mean obviously it makes things like accessible relatively, even though they're like expensive, but streaming ruined television.
for sure.
Period.
I fully
Like,
expect like I am preparing for the worst. I am preparing for HBO to pull the plug on season 2 of Our Flag Means Death. I'm preparing for season 2 of A League of Their Own to never make it to Amazon Prime. Like I'm nothing.
they were
That
getting
already
a
been
shortened
canceled.
they were getting a shortened second season, weren't they?
Yeah, and so now I'm afraid it's
Just
never
to like
gonna happen.
kind of a Sense8 treatment. Yeah.
Damn.
Like we like the Riches got lost to the writer's strike. Pushing Daisies.
Oh, and what a show.
oh,
what
I
a
remember
show that
watching
was.
show,
Yeah.
dude.
Pushing Daisies got lost. The show Lost had a terrible season because of the writer's strike. Heroes had a terrible season because of the writer's strike.
The only show that like was better because of the writer's strike was Breaking Bad, and that's because they weren't given the chance to kill
Yeah.
Hank and Jesse.
And Supernatural.
And Supernatural, because then they wrote in Castiel.
If it
Yeah.
wasn't for the 2007 writer's strike, we never would have met Castiel.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I hope the studios pay the writers so that we can get more shows. We
People
will
can have livable incomes.
we will keep rewatching
Exactly.
Shameless and screaming about it, but we want other shows to scream about for the first 15 minutes of every episode.
Well, and we also want the writers to get residuals from us
Yeah.
rewatching.
Yes, exactly. Like every time we rewatch an
streaming
episode
platform.
on Netflix or on Xfinity or anything, they should like that should count as a rerun.
And then
rerun.
when Amanda watches them on DVD, she mails them a check every episode.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's so true. I rewatch them on Xfinity when I rewatch them because I don't want it to show up in my Netflix like continue watching. I'm like, don't mock me.
But you do have some of the seasons, or all of them, right?
I have the first 5 seasons.
Gotcha.
And I think maybe season 11. Yeah.
I
just
remember I
have
feel like you
season 4,
texted
I
that and be
think.
like, huh, I got it.
Got it. Got him.
All right. Anything else to say about this episode, y'all?
I
No.
don't think so.
All right.
Disproportionately short.
Yeah.
It
recording,
was. I know.
but-
I don't know what to do with myself.
I feel like I would have had more to say, but they said it for us, I guess.
It's good writing. Like
Yeah, good ass
we're
writing.
left speechless.
Yeah, satisfied but speechless.
And I know it's been taking us a very long time to get through season 4, but hey, or season
busy.
5. But we're getting there and we're figuring it out. And it is now almost 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock where Lena is. So we should
In the
let
down
you
under.
have your nighttime.
At least this is one of
Did
the
you
earliest
just call
sessions.
it the down under?
I know, I realized after I said it was the wrong place.
It's actually the up aboveys, so slightly, just slightly
I've
though.
been listening to a lot of Men at Work recently.
Yeah. I come from a land down under.
But it was lovely chatting with you both. I'm looking forward
always
to
a
finishing
pleasure.
season
Love
5.
you so very much.
And we're devastated, but
Yeah.
we'll keep going.
We gotta get through it though. You can find us where you can find us. It's in the description. We've done this enough. Y'all know where to get us.
It's down there. Don't even worry about it.
luckwehadpod on Instagram, luckwehadpod on Twitter. Email us luckwehadpod@gmail.com. Follow all of our socials separately. If Twitter is
find
still
them.
alive, every day I expect that app to crash. So
God, that's a whole nother fucking 20 minutes before the episode debate.
okay. So I guess
Right.
until next time,
Yeah.
we're making it an early one, guys. All
Let's
right.
go. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye.